your mind won't stop. It's 3 in the morning and you're replaying that conversation from yesterday, rewriting what you should have said, imagining what they really meant. The thoughts spiral, they always do. You know this pattern by now, the endless loop of what-ifs and should-haves that steal your sleep, your focus, your peace. Here's what nobody tells you: a quiet mind isn't an empty mind. It's not about erasing thoughts or achieving some Zen state where nothing bothers you. That's not real life, and it's certainly not sustainable. A quiet mind is something different entirely. It's a mind that knows which thoughts deserve attention and which ones are just noise. It's a mind that has learned to respond instead of react, to accept instead of resist. You've been fighting yourself for too long. Every anxious thought, every moment of overthinking, every harsh word you've said to yourself in the mirror. It's exhausting, isn't it? The constant mental battle where you're both the warrior and the enemy. But what if there was another way? What if you could step off the battlefield entirely? What if inner peace wasn't about winning the war against your thoughts, but about changing your relationship with them altogether? The science says you can. Positive psychology and decades of research have given us a roadmap, not to perfection, but to something better: sustainable peace from within. Your transformation starts here. If you're ready to reclaim your peace, type "I'm ready" in the comments. Let's begin this journey together. Let's be honest about what this mental noise is actually costing you. It's not just annoying background chatter, it's the reason you can't enjoy a conversation without your mind drifting to tomorrow's deadline. It's why you scroll through your phone for an hour instead of sleeping, numbing yourself, because your thoughts feel too loud to face. It's the invisible weight that makes even good days feel heavy. You wake up already tired, not physically tired, mentally exhausted before your feet hit the floor, because your brain has been running scenarios all night, solving problems that don't exist yet, preparing for disasters that probably never will. Your mind treats every uncertainty like an emergency, every outcome like it needs to be controlled right now. And here's the cruelest part. You've internalized the voice, the one that says you're not doing enough, that you should be further along by now, that everyone else has it figured out except you. That voice doesn't take breaks. It doesn't clock out at 5 or take weekends off. It's there during your morning coffee, whispering that you're behind. It's there during moments that should be peaceful, reminding you of everything that could go wrong. You've tried to fix it. You really have. Maybe you've read the books, downloaded the meditation apps, promised yourself you'd worry less and live more. But the noise keeps coming back, doesn't it? Because you've been treating symptoms instead of causes. You've been trying to silence your mind through force, when what it actually needs is understanding. The exhaustion isn't just from thinking too much. It's from fighting your thoughts, from treating your own mind like an adversary that needs to be conquered or controlled. That battle, it's unwinnable, because you can't strong-arm yourself into peace. You can't bully yourself into calm. But you can learn a different approach, one where your mind becomes an ally instead of an enemy, where quiet isn't something you chase, it's something you cultivate. And that cultivation, it starts with understanding what you actually have control over. Here's a truth that might set you free. Most of what you worry about is completely outside your control. Think about it. That presentation you're anxious about, you can't control how your boss reacts to it, the relationship you're analyzing to death. You can't control what the other person thinks or feels. The future you're trying to plan down to the last detail, you can't control how any of it will actually unfold. And yet, Your mind spends hours every day trying to manage these uncontrollable things. It's like standing in a rainstorm, furiously attempting to push the clouds away with your hands. Exhausting, futile, and completely missing the point. The ancient Stoics understood something that modern psychology has now confirmed. Human suffering comes not from circumstances themselves, but from our desperate attempts to control what cannot be controlled. When you release that grip, when you stop trying to manage the unmanageable, something remarkable happens. Your mind gets quiet, not because the external world changed, but because you stopped asking it to be something it's not. So how do you actually practice this? Start with the circle of control exercise. Draw an imaginary circle. Inside it, put only what you have direct control over: your actions, your responses, your effort, your values, how you treat people, how you spend your time today. Outside that circle, everything else: other people's opinions, outcomes, the past, most of the future, how fast you achieve your goals, whether people like you. Now here's the practice. Every time you notice yourself spiraling, ask one simple question: is this inside or outside my circle? If it's outside, your only job is to acknowledge it and redirect your energy back inside. Not to suppress the worry or pretend you don't care, but to gently remind yourself that this particular thing isn't yours to carry. You can care about the outcome without trying to control it. You can hope for the best without micromanaging every variable. This isn't about becoming passive or indifferent. It's about becoming strategic with your mental energy, because every minute you spend trying to control the uncontrollable is a minute stolen from what you can actually influence. And what you can influence, that's where your power lives. That's where action replaces anxiety. That's where you stop being a victim of circumstances and become an active participant in your own life. Which brings us to the second shift you need to make. You've been playing the wrong game. You've been obsessing over outcomes: the promotion, the perfect body, the relationship milestone, the achievement that will finally prove you're enough. And every time the outcome doesn't arrive exactly when or how you wanted, you interpret it as failure. Your worth gets tied to results you can't fully control, and your peace depends on external validation that may never come. This is the outcome trap, and it's stealing your life. Here's what research on motivation and well-being consistently shows. People who focus on outcomes experience more anxiety, less satisfaction, and ironically, worse results than those who focus on process. Because when your entire emotional state depends on hitting a target, you become paralyzed by the possibility of missing it. You overthink, you hesitate, you rob yourself of the joy that exists in the doing. But when you shift your focus to action, to what you can do today, in this moment, everything changes. You're no longer waiting for some future achievement to give you permission to feel good. You're finding meaning in the process itself. Let's make this concrete. If you're anxious about your career, the outcome focus sounds like, I need to get promoted by the end of the year, or I'm a failure. The action focus sounds like, what's one skill I can develop this week? What's one conversation I can have that adds value? See the difference? One creates pressure and helplessness. The other creates agency and forward motion. This is how you break free from overthinking. You give yourself something to do instead of something to worry about. Because anxiety thrives in ambiguity and inaction. When you're focused on your next right action, there's no mental space for the spiral. Start asking yourself, what's the next smallest step I can take? Not the perfect step, not the guaranteed to succeed step, just the next one. Then take it, then ask again. This isn't about lowering your standards or abandoning your goals. It's about locating your power in the present moment rather than in some imagined future. It's about building a life where peace comes from how you show up, not from what you achieve. And sometimes showing up means deliberately slowing down. Your nervous system is stuck in fifth gear. Even when you're sitting still, you're not really still. Your mind is racing ahead to the next task, the next worry, the next thing that needs your attention. You eat lunch while checking emails. You have conversations while mentally drafting your to-do list. You're physically present but mentally scattered across 12 different timelines. This isn't living, this is surviving at high speed. And your body is keeping score. The tension in your shoulders, the shallow breathing, the difficulty falling asleep, the constant low-grade anxiety. These aren't character flaws. They're signals. Your nervous system is screaming for you to slow down, but you've been trained to interpret slowing down as weakness or laziness or falling behind. Let's reframe this entirely. Slowing down isn't a luxury. It's a biological necessity. Your brain and body need downtime to process, integrate, and recover. Without it, you're running on fumes, and mental noise is the smoke alarm telling you the engine is about to blow. So, how do you actually slow down in a world that demands constant speed? You start small. You start with your breath. Right now, wherever you are, take one intentional breath. Slow inhale through your nose. Count to 4. Hold for 4. Slow exhale through your mouth. Count to 6. That's it. You just interrupted your stress response. This isn't mystical. This is neuroscience. Deep, controlled breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode that counters the fight or flight response you've been stuck in. It literally tells your body, we're safe, we can slow down now. But slowing down goes beyond breathing exercises. It's about building moments of deliberate pause into your day. It's eating one meal without your phone. It's taking a walk where the goal is just to walk, not to optimize your step count or solve a problem. It's allowing yourself 10 minutes of doing absolutely nothing without guilt. These aren't wasted moments. They're the moments where your mind finally has space to settle, where clarity emerges, where creativity and insight can actually surface because you're not drowning them in noise. And once you've created that space, you can use it to question the thoughts that have been running the show. Your thoughts are not facts. Read that again. Because somewhere along the way you started believing that every thought that crosses your mind is true, important, and deserves your full attention. But most of your anxious thoughts, they're just stories, predictions, interpretations, and often they're wildly inaccurate. This is where cognitive behavioral therapy becomes your secret weapon. CBT has decades of research behind it, and its core insight is beautifully simple. Your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings influence your actions. Change the thought, and you change everything downstream. But here's the key. You're not trying to replace negative thoughts with forced positivity. You're learning to question them, to examine them like a detective rather than accepting them as gospel truth. Let me show you how this works. The next time an anxious thought appears, let's say it's, I'm going to fail this project and everyone will think I'm incompetent. Pause. Don't push it away. Don't believe it automatically. Just hold it up to the light and ask, what's the evidence for this thought? What's the evidence against it? Evidence for, maybe you're behind schedule or you made a mistake last week. Evidence against, you've completed similar projects before. Your boss hasn't expressed concern. You have skills and experience. Past anxiety predictions rarely came true. Now ask, what's a more balanced thought? Maybe something like, this project is challenging and I'm facing some obstacles, but I have the skills to work through them. Even if it's not perfect, I can handle whatever happens. Notice what just happened. You didn't deny the challenge. You didn't lie to yourself. You just refused to let anxiety write the entire narrative. Here's another powerful technique, the thought distancing practice. Instead of thinking I'm a failure, try I'm having the thought that I'm a failure. See how that creates space. You're not the thought. You're the person observing the thought. That small shift in language creates psychological distance, and research shows it reduces the emotional impact by up to 30%. You can also use the "would I say this to a friend" test. If your best friend came to you with the same worry, would you respond with the harsh judgment you're giving yourself? Or would you offer perspective, encouragement, and compassion? The goal isn't to eliminate anxious thoughts. That's impossible and counterproductive. The goal is to stop giving them unlimited power over your emotional state, to recognize them as mental events, not reality, to respond to them with curiosity rather than fear. And that brings us to perhaps the most important shift of all, how you talk to yourself when things don't go according to plan. You are your own worst enemy. Not because you're fundamentally flawed, but because you've been trained to believe that harsh self-criticism is motivating, that if you're not constantly pushing, judging, and punishing yourself, you'll become lazy or mediocre. So you've developed an internal voice that sounds like a drill sergeant, relentless, merciless, never satisfied. And how's that working for you? If self-criticism actually worked, you'd be thriving by now. Instead, you're exhausted, anxious, and perpetually feeling like you're not enough. Because here's what research on self-compassion proves. Being kind to yourself isn't self-indulgent weakness. It's the foundation of resilience, motivation, and sustainable well-being. Dr. Kristin Neff's studies show that people who practice self-compassion experience less anxiety and depression, recover from setbacks faster, and are more motivated to improve, not less. They're not letting themselves off the hook. They're treating themselves like someone worth caring for. So what does self-compassion actually look like? It starts with recognizing your humanity. When you make a mistake or fall short, instead of spiraling into, "I'm such an idiot, I always mess everything up," you pause and acknowledge, "This is hard, I'm struggling, and struggling is part of being human." You're not making excuses, you're extending the same understanding to yourself that you'd offer to anyone else. Second, you change your self-talk, literally. The next time you catch yourself in a spiral of self-criticism, stop and ask, "What would I say to a friend in this situation?" Then say that to yourself, not in a patronizing way, but with genuine care. You're doing the best you can. This is tough, but you've handled tough things before. It's okay to not have all the answers right now. Third, you practice the self-compassion break in moments of stress. Place your hand on your heart, yes, physically. Then say to yourself, "This is a moment of suffering. Suffering is part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment?" It might feel awkward at first. Do it anyway. You're literally soothing your nervous system while rewiring your internal dialogue. Here's the truth. You will never criticize yourself into the person you want to become. Growth doesn't happen through shame. It happens through support, patience, and the willingness to try again after you fall. Your inner voice can become your greatest ally instead of your constant critic. But that shift requires practice. It requires you to choose compassion over cruelty, especially when you feel like you least deserve it. because you always deserve it. So where does this leave you? You've learned to release what you can't control. You've shifted your focus from outcomes to actions. You've discovered the power of slowing down, questioning anxious thoughts, and treating yourself with compassion. These aren't just techniques, they're the building blocks of a completely different way of being. But here's what nobody tells you about transformation. It's not linear. There will be days when your mind feels quiet, when you catch yourself responding instead of reacting, when you realize hours have passed without spiraling. And there will be days when the old patterns come roaring back, when anxiety grabs you by the throat, when you forget everything you've learned. Both are part of the journey. Living from a quiet mind doesn't mean achieving some permanent state of Zen where nothing bothers you. It means having a toolkit you can return to again and again whenever the noise gets loud. It means noticing when you're slipping into old patterns, and that noticing itself is progress. Start small. You don't need to implement all 5 strategies perfectly starting tomorrow. Pick one. Maybe it's the breath practice during your morning coffee. Maybe it's questioning one anxious thought per day. Maybe it's speaking to yourself with compassion during your evening reflection. Build from there. Let each practice reinforce the others. Because here's what happens. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you have energy for meaningful action. When you focus on action instead of outcomes, you reduce anxiety naturally. When you slow down, you create space to question your thoughts. When you question your thoughts with self-compassion, you break the cycle of overthinking. They work together. They compound. And gradually, without you even noticing at first, your baseline changes. The constant mental chatter that used to dominate your days becomes background noise you can easily tune out. The anxiety that used to hijack entire afternoons becomes a signal you know how to respond to. The harsh inner critic becomes a supportive ally. This is what a quiet mind actually feels like. Not empty, not numb, not disconnected, but clear, present, responsive, free. You won't get there overnight, but you also don't have to wait years for relief. Every moment you choose to practice these tools, you're building new neural pathways. You're teaching your brain that safety is possible, that peace is accessible, that you are capable of holding yourself with care. The art of a quiet mind isn't about perfection. It's about practice, and your practice starts now. If you're committed to reclaiming your inner peace and breaking free from the spiral, drop a comment. I choose calm. Don't forget to subscribe to the Stoic Mode and hit that notification bell. We're building something powerful here, and you're part of it. Thank you for showing up. Stay steady.